To evade the prison guard's pursuit, the clever fugitive dove straight into a tree hollow. The next second, screams erupted.
Get me out of here! Send me back to jail! I want to go back!
According to reports, the crime scene was located in a suburban national park. People worked together to pry open the tree bark. Inside, the body was folded in half. Based on the mold on the clothing, Hodgins estimated the victim had been dead for less than a year. Once the bark was removed, the stench of decay leaked out, attracting swarms of insects to the smell, some even crawling up Booth's pant legs. Soon after, the body was transported back to the lab. Based on the concentration of Aspergillus fungal spores and Stachybotrys mold, Hodgins determined the victim had been dumped 4 months ago. The erosive lesions on the metacarpophalangeal joints, along with multiple remodeled thoracic vertebrae fractures, indicated the victim likely suffered from lupus. Lupus subjects people to severe pain and organ failure. During their conversation, 2 ants carried off a distal phalanx. Leveraging the fact that termites follow pheromone trails, Hodgins drew a line with his pen, tricking them into heading toward a container. The intern discovered a Monteggia fracture on the left ulna. Looking back, the right ulna showed even more injuries. These were defensive wounds, indicating the victim had fought with her killer before death. Cam extracted DNA from the body, but found no matches. Using a 3D holographic simulation device, Angela successfully captured the contours of the victim's skull and reconstructed her approximate appearance based on proper proportions. Finally, after cross-referencing with the database, they identified the victim as Lisa, age 28. Her sister had filed a missing person report 4 months earlier. According to her sister, 3 years ago, after being diagnosed with lupus, Lisa had abandoned her fine arts major. A pharmacist recommended medical marijuana for pain management. This method did ease Lisa's suffering. To thank the doctor, Lisa took a job at the pharmacy. They tracked down this doctor. When he learned why the agents had come, he didn't seem surprised, because he knew Lisa loved her work. The doctor added that everyone liked Lisa. But just as he finished speaking, a security guard suddenly claimed that a college student had given Lisa trouble. After pulling up the relevant surveillance footage, they found Lisa had refused to sell him products because he'd forged documentation for legal marijuana use. The guard then threw him out. In the interrogation room, the student flat out denied the police's murder theory, explaining he wouldn't kill someone over some weed. The student further stated he was an excellent student who regularly racked up scholarships. He just wanted to buy marijuana to celebrate. But to Booth, this statement sounded like a motive for murder. After all, if Lisa reported him to the school, not only would he lose his scholarship, he'd also be expelled. And on the day Lisa disappeared, he'd visited the school infirmary. The student claimed the guard had accidentally hit him with a flashlight when chasing him out. Given that the student was a writer with exceptional storytelling abilities, Booth didn't buy any of it. Back in the lab, the intern handed Hodgins a tray of bone fragments. They unexpectedly noticed a southern pine beetle crawling onto it. Clearly the beetle had been brought in from elsewhere. Before long, Brennan and her team finally finished piecing together the fragments. They discovered blunt force trauma to the horizontal ramus of the right mandible. This was a depressed linear fracture, indicating the weapon was a curved blunt object. Meanwhile, Lance carefully analyzed Lisa's artwork. He surprisingly found that in nearly every painting, the pharmacy security guard was showing interest in Lisa, but Lisa painted herself maintaining distance from the guard. Combined with the earlier flashlight detail, the motive became clear. If you can't have her, destroy her. In the interrogation room, the guard was furious, explaining that he had liked Lisa at one point, but later noticed Lisa would avoid him every time they met, so he'd sensibly given up. Brennan wanted the guard to hand over his flashlight to compare with the wound, but the guard said the flashlight was missing. Afterward, Brennan found an identical flashlight. Upon comparison, she discovered the flashlight's size didn't match the injury at all, but this didn't clear the guard of suspicion. Next, Brennan found a V-shaped notch on the left clavicle. The angle of the wound was too wide for a blade, but too small for the weapon that fractured the mandible. So the weapon they were looking for had to have curves, a blunt surface, and sharp edges. At the same time, Hodgins had Angela pull up satellite imagery of the national park. He marked the location where the body was found on the map and searched the surrounding area for shortleaf pines, because only those trees hosted southern pine beetles. Combined with a type of thistle pollen Lisa had inhaled before death, they successfully pinpointed a location. After searching the area, Brennan discovered blood traces in a clearing. Not far from the clearing, Hodgins also found a plot of cultivated marijuana plants. Half had already been harvested. Given marijuana's pain-relieving effects for lupus, they deduced the grower was Lisa. Hodgins then tested the marijuana, finding the THC content was only 4%, extremely low, not enough to produce psychoactive effects. However, the CBD content was very high, making it perfect for use as an anti-seizure and pain medication. It could greatly reduce patients' suffering. This was a perfect medical strain. During the investigation, Angela had been reviewing the pharmacy's surveillance footage. Through careful observation, she noticed Lisa frequently shook hands with patients. Zooming in on the footage revealed, Lisa was slipping marijuana into patients' hands. Turns out Lisa was selling her homegrown marijuana at the pharmacy, using handshakes to complete transactions. Cam carefully studied photos from the crime scene and found the blood on the rocks showed high-velocity spatter. This indicated Lisa's cause of death was arterial damage. Following this lead, Brennan discovered a small incision on the hyoid bone. To cause this injury, you'd have to first slice the right external carotid artery. The clean, precise cut indicated the killer had delivered one swift, fatal strike. This seemed like the work of a professional doctor. Unfortunately, Booth ruled out her suspicion, because the doctor was traveling abroad when the murder occurred, with travel receipts and witnesses to prove it. In the lab, Angela determined the weapon's characteristics based on the fracture wounds. It had circular, triangular, and blunt features, and was sharp enough to slice through a throat. Angela created a reasonable configuration and tried searching the database for similar objects. When the search returned no results, Angela placed the circular shape on top. Based on the fracture pattern, Brennan analyzed that Lisa was first struck by the circular object, which then caused it to fall off structurally, exposing the triangular point underneath. As they talked, the computer search yielded results. It was a Writer's Award trophy. Searching related content revealed the student from earlier was one of the recipients, but Brennan found no blood traces on his trophy. No matter how the student tried to explain, Booth had uncovered evidence of him dealing drugs at school. Buyers complained the weed he sold didn't get them high, indicating what he was selling was Lisa's medical marijuana.
You have no proof of this.
Yes, we do. It's blood, Booth.
Booth immediately theorized that, because the marijuana Lisa sold him wasn't potent enough, he'd gone to the pharmacy to confront her. Under pressure, Lisa took the student to where she grew her marijuana. Looking at the field full of plants, the student saw nothing but wealth. Greed consumed him and he wanted it all for himself, planning to knock out Lisa and take all the marijuana. But he struck too hard, turning it into a tragedy. Panicked afterward, he only took half the marijuana. Case closed.